In this video, I'm going to be going over the manipulators over here in the upper left-hand corner. In the video, this will not show these little pop-ups when I'm hovering over each one of these little icons. But when you're running the application and you hover your mouse over here, it'll tell you which mode it is, and there's going to be a little letter at the end. Now this one here is scale mode. Then it's going to have the letter S. The S is for the hotkey on the keyboard to get in that mode. So if I press the S, that would put me in scale mode. This one tells me T, and that would put me in that mode, translation mode. These are just little shortcut hotkeys. And towards the end of the video, I will show you some tips and tricks towards the end, but we're going to go over some of the basics right now. Alright, now we are going to start off with the translation mode. As you can see, I got the handles up here. Let me turn this just a little bit so you can see that I actually have three handles. Got the green one, the red one, and the blue one. If you look down here to the bottom here, these are the same as this up here. These are color coordinated. The green one is the y-axis up and down. The red one is the x-axis right to left, and the z-axis is front to back. Alright, if you look in between these, I got these little triangulars here. And what are the two colors between this triangular I got my cursor on? Would be the blue one and the red one. The blue one would be back to front, and the red one would be right to left. Now if I selected the triangular, I could actually go in both axes at once. And we'll do the same for this triangular up here, which will be right to left and up and down. If I do it in circular motion, as you can see, it does it like that. And we'll go to the last one here. So basically, you can see this one would go up and down, because since I'm between the y-axis up and down and the blue one, it would actually work like this. Now it's better to understand it by putting an object out there. If I didn't have this object out here and try doing this, you might not be able to see it very well and understand it. But putting an object out there makes you understand it just a little bit better. Alright, let's go to the next mode. This is the rotation mode. I'm going to go and turn this just a little bit, just to show you some of the things that could happen. As you notice, one of the I see a green one, and I see my blue one, but I don't see my red one. Sometimes you have to tilt this just a little bit to see all the axes. Now when I turn this and grab this blue one here, I'll start getting this little blue graph to fill in here. Each circle that you turn will make the graph that same color. So I'm turning a blue graph per circle, so I'm going to get a blue graph. The graph is like a pie, so I'm halfway, the pie shows halfway, and that means I'm halfway turned around. If the pie is full, that means I turned it 360 degrees. As you can see, now I get a green graph here because I'm selecting the green circle. Alright, let's go over to scale mode. Let's Control Z that here and scale this up. Alright, as you can see, I got this little red, my x-axis, which would pull in actually both directions here. And if I select over here on the right side, it pulls just the outside in that direction. Now I got this little green, or this little yellow one here, which uniformly scales it up and down. And basically works like this one here. If I put my mouse on the upper right hand corner, it scales it down universally. And you can also grab the top of the box This is something you're going to have to mess with to understand it rather than me explaining this part here. This kind of works like the triangular, it works in two axes at once, so something that you'll have to mess with. Alright, let's go ahead and we'll just delete this object here, and we'll just start with a new one so you can see it better. And we're going to switch over to Universal Manipulator. And what this does here, this is one of my favorites. This one here works like all three of these. You can move it up and down, right to left, front to back. And it also has these little white little handles on each end of it. These are for rotation. You can scale it, and you can use it triangulars on it. And you can also scale it here, which is pretty handy. Let's go ahead and delete that and move into the next one. Now I'm going to go ahead and select the point mode to give you a little demonstration, because we're going to use this high manipulator where you might use this. Now as you can see, let's say I was selecting a point here, then I wanted to select one up here. Now my handle's in the way. Sure, I could scale it out of the way. Well, let's just say I didn't want to scale it. Well, I could just actually hide this. Then that way I can easily select it. So basically that's how that works. I'm going to go to view and to front view mode again. Select my object. Now I'm in world mode. Now what is world mode? Just take a look at the manipulator here, how it's facing straight up and down and right to left. And that is what you call world mode. Now if I was to select the face, this is also still in world mode. Now world mode is pretty common, but if you're going to do something that's got a little angle to it, as you can see, if I was to extrude this face out here, I wouldn't want to pull it out to the side here. I want to pull it in the direction that the face is pointing, so I would go into selection mode. And what selection mode is, actually goes in the direction that the object is facing, or the selected object's facing. Now we're going to go ahead and just tilt this a little bit here, and we're going to go over the next section. I'll tilt it right here. Now we're going to go into back into world mode. As you can see that the manipulator is still straight up and down. Alright, and then like we said, when we select the face and select this one here in selection, it goes in the direction of which way the face is going to go. Now we're going to go down to the B box. Now when I select the B box here, as you can see, it does not go in the direction of which way the face is going. It goes in the direction of this boundary box. The boundary box is the pink box around this cube here. Alright, let's go back in this mode here, Control Z. Now we got the camera XYZ. Now take a look. As I turn this around, I can see all three of the axes. Now here I'm going to go into the camera mode here, and if I turn it around, this is basically, I only see two of the manipulator handles. This is like having something out in front of you always facing forward. You're basically going to be wanting to work in the XYZ most of the time. Okay, I'm going to be going over a few little extra tips towards the end here, so stay with me. We also have an option to right click to get some other options for this. And if you click too slow by right clicking, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to click pretty fast to get this option, and sometimes it depends on your mouse speed, what settings you have it for. Now I right click pretty fast, and you got options to set pivot. So I was to select here, and let's say I wanted my pivot to the right hand corner, and here is my new pivot point. And we can right click and reset pivot, and I'm going to go back into world mode here. As you can see around the sphere here, I got this little pink box. This is called the boundary box. I really don't care for it to be there, and I'm going to hide it because I prefer to have it hidden every time I use this application. Some people prefer to, and I just don't prefer not to. So we can just go to the Edit, Preferences, and we're going to go over to the 3D Display, and then we're going to go over to Selections. As you can see, it says Display Boundary Box. Uncheck it, and we'll just validate it. And that gets rid of that. I'm going to move the object here, and then I'm going to let go. Now I'm going to hold down the CTRL key, which I'm going to call the control key, and I'm going to hover over here, and I'm going to hold it down, the control key, and then drag out. As you can see, I duplicated another one. Then I let go, which I can do the same thing by holding the control key down, by hovering over here, then drag. It only duplicates only if the object is let go first and not active. So as you can see, it's still active because I'm moving it up and down, and I need to let go of it first. If I was to try moving it and holding the control key down, it's not going to duplicate it because I'm trying to tap the control key. It's not doing nothing. I let go, tap the control key, and there it is. This controls Z that. And we can also, let's say, select the face. This time I'm going to select the control key again. As you can see, I got the blue indicator, the yellow one, and the red one up here. If I select the blue one with the control key held down, it extruded it. Hold the control key down, select the red one. As you can see, it did that. And hold the control key down one more time, and I'll select the yellow one, which is kind of freehand extruding it, and it does that. Now I'm going to delete this object here, and you can see I'm in the face mode. And I'm going to hit the delete key on my keyboard. I don't want to delete the face. I want to delete the object. So we'll select the object, and we'll just hit the delete key on the keyboard to delete it. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and just grab this cube here and just drag it out. And I'm going to hotkey so we can hit the front view. And we're going to go to Universal Manipulator mode. And I want you to keep an eye on the rotation value over here on the right hand side. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hover over here and select it and hold the shift key down. This will snap it in quarters all the way around 360 degrees. Now for some reason I did not hold the shift key down, and I turned it a little bit just like that and let go. You see I'm still in world mode. Then if I go back and hold the shift key down and turn it around, it's always going to be in the left and the correct axis, but I wanted to square it back off because once you let go of this and you turn it by freehand and let go of it, you're stuck with that axis. So I'm turning it and let go with no shift key. Let's say I wanted to get it square back up again. All I need is come over here most of these come in at a 0 value rotation. Well, go ahead and type the letter 0 in here and press enter. As you can see it on back, and that way I can just go ahead and hold the shift key down and snap it around again.